Welcome to Getting Home Sourced with G. Your one-stop shop for all things real estate. Gianno is your go-to guy with over 25 years of experience in the game, serving up the insider scoop on buying, selling, and investing in two of the hottest markets, Las Vegas, Nevada, and Cabo, Mexico. Whether you're looking to score the perfect home, seal the deal on a sale, or dive into the world of international investments, G's got the tips, tricks, and swagger to make it happen. Remember, in Nevada, the smart choice is the right choice. And when it comes to Cabo, you better go oceanside with Cabo G. If you were looking for a quiet, tranquil show about real estate, this ain't it. Gianno has this thing called passion. Let's unleash the beast. This is Welcome to Getting Home Sourced. And now your host, Gianno.
Hey, what do you say? We got another rockin' show here, folks, at Getting Home Sourced, as I'm your host, Gianno, and I just want to welcome everybody in. We got a fantastic mailbag edition of Getting Home Sourced, our new mailbag 2026. I know, folks, it's been a minute, exactly 3 months to the day, so I promised people I would be doing a mailbag show, and today this is it. So we have a lot of great questions. I'm going to get to them today. But first, I'd like to start off, as always, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you're listening around the world. Thank you so much. And, of course, for my newbies, my first-timers, welcome aboard. Really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Whoever you heard the show from or got referred to, please thank them. And if you just happen to come across it, that's great. Please share. We're a community here. We're a family-based show. We interact, we participate. Of course, that's why I'm doing my mailbag today. And for my repeat offenders, thank you so much. As I always say, you're the Ferrari that drives the show. Got a lot of response from people over the last couple of weeks with the topics that we've been covering. So thank you so much for your input. Thank you for the feedback. That's what's most important overall. And like I said, for everybody that's listening out there that's new or may not know, get on my Vegas Home Source newsletter. Go on to vegashomesource.com. Get the newsletter because we're going to be distributing that here pretty soon. So you get all the fun facts of what's going on for February moving forward. And, of course, if you need to get a hold of me, I have my toll-free G number, 888-528-2810 for all my international friends. And for domestic, just put the 702 instead of the 888, and you're good to go. So, with that being said, we got a lot of in-depth questions, very thought-provoking, that I want to tackle here, and we're going to, break them all down. But like I said, I know it's been a minute, but we had a lot of things to cover. And now that our show and our community is growing, I think it's important to just kind of take a step back and then just answer the fan base, answer the questions, get some information out there for people. So this way we know where we're going, what we're doing, what's happening. And this is what it's all about. So without further ado,
let the show begin.
Drum roll, please. Here's our first question. So our first question is going to come from Fred M. in Guildford, England. As Fred writes in, Gianno, cheers to you, and I'm a big fan of the show. Thank you so much for all your knowledge and input that you share. My question for you is that in regards to your virtual assistant, I call in your toll-free line, get on the call, I get my questions answered, but then I don't know what to do next. How do I get started? How do I talk to you? So this is an interesting question, Fred. Thank you so much for that. And again, cheers to you as well. So that was just another similar question from other people that have written in. So I kind of wanted to take this question. It's more, concentrated to answer properly. So basically with the virtual assistant, what I like to do is I want to make sure that all of your questions are answered, because I know in most countries that have realtors, they're getting your contact information, your email, your telephone number, they pound on you. And it's like they don't want to take no for an answer until you get on the phone. And I know that's a little bit of a harassment, and you don't like it. Totally understand. That's why at Vegas Home Source, with myself, what I like to do is I give everybody the tools. You do your homework. Then when you have questions and answers, you can get that from my virtual assistant, Miss G. And if you still want to talk and move forward, no problem. Just ask to leave a message, or you could ask to contact me. And then if I'm not able to get to the phone, because obviously we have different hours of the day and wherever we are in the world, no problem. Just leave me the message, and then therefore I'll get the message. Give me your email, give me your telephone number, whatever's easiest for you. Or you can bypass that whole process and then just email me direct, Gianno, Gianno, at VegasHomeSource.com, and then go right direct. There we could set up a time frame, what day and time works for you. So then this way we're good to go, because the questions that I have for my virtual assistant answers everything for Las Vegas in the United States, as well as Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. So you're going to get covered on both sides. So I want to make sure that instead of me trying to chase you down and what have you, I don't want to do that. I want you to have the tools at your resources there for you. You have Miss G, you have the website, you have the MLS, you have everything there for you. And then afterwards, Fred, you would come in and then just, again, leave me a voice message, or you can try to reach me, or you could send me an email. So those are the best ways to do it. So, and that goes for everybody too, folks. So again, the virtual assistant, it's there for you. It is totally well-versed and will answer basically all the questions that you have. So with that, I hope that helps, because I do like the participation. And again, the toll-free number is there for everybody. The virtual assistant is there for everybody. So then this way, you don't have to feel out of place or feel, like you're like don't want to be hassled or bothered. Like, I don't want to call. I don't want to I'm not ready for that. No problem. It's at your convenience, and I want it to be super easy and transitional for you. When you're ready, you can come to me. So that's how the Miss G works for you. So thank you, Fred, for that question. Now, the second question comes from Nicholas T. from Paris, France. So thank you so much, Nicholas. As he writes in, I just started listening to your show and would like to know more about your concierge partnership program, as I'm a realtor in France and would like to work with you. Great question. And it's funny because I had just gotten that 2 weeks ago when I talked about it and launched it. And I'm glad you asked that, because that's what we're looking for. So the concierge partnership program, Nicholas, is very simple. For people that are either realtors or non-realtors, what I want people to do is they go onto my site, register the person that's interested. So if you're a realtor, you're going to register your client. If you're a non-realtor and you want to register a friend, family member, associate, whoever, right? Go onto the website, Vegas Home Source, register, and please provide the information, name, telephone number, email, price point. What are they looking for? So this way we have an idea. And then from that point, now you can actually have the MLS for Cabo, MLS for Vegas to do research on. You can help them through the process. So for realtors that are international or domestic that have referrals, but in this case, obviously we're talking about for France. Hey, listen, I'm a realtor. I pay referrals out to realtors. That's how we do it, right? So at the end of the day, for those that are not realtors, no problem. If you're outside the U.S., as a U.S. realtor, I could pay you outside the country. That's how it works. And I'm also licensed in Mexico. So even as a Mexico realtor and you're looking to purchase in Mexico, really the state law there, the country law, because the state is the Baja California, sir. But the country law, you could pay anybody. There is no restrictions. You could pay a non-licensed person for a referral fee, right? So the partnership program brings in internationals that have clients that don't know how to work the process, but don't want to lose the client. I got you covered, Nicholas, so don't worry about that. And for those that are non-realtors, again, same procedure. You don't want to lose them. Maybe you might want to be involved in the helping process of real estate. You may know the real estate process, know how to navigate the MLS, that have properties that I show for Cabo and Vegas, help them out. And then at the same time, when they're ready, come forward. Or if you want to speak on their behalf, no problem. I'm willing to work with everybody, because the concierge partnership program is global. It also helps people, like I shared about before a couple of weeks ago, where I'm helping local builders and realtors promote their listings. I'm also helping people if they need help in other states in the U.S. to kind of be like that concierge. You're going to get the one-on-one treatment, the white glove treatment, where we make sure that the client's taken care of for whatever they need in any state, not just for Las Vegas where I'm at. And also I'm going to be launching that in Mexico as well. So with that, we set that up as a marketing, advertising, and promotional service that gets taken care of because, as I always like to say, no good deed goes unrewarded. So we want to make sure that people are getting taken care of because I like to take care of people. It's a service industry. I'm at your service, and this is what it's all about. So again, Nicholas, I hope that answers your question. But again, if you have any more questions, again, feel free to contact me, Gianno at VegasHomeSource.com, or anybody that wants to get involved in the Concierge Partnership Program. It's there for everybody to take advantage of. And hey, listen, we're all helping each other out. That's the name of the game. That's what makes the world go around. So
Just keep your eye on the ball, Bonnie boy.
thank you so much for that, Nicholas, in Paris, France. So now we're going to go to our third question. And this is from Sophia M. out of New Jersey, USA, United States. And Sophia writes in saying, I love your show. And it's a great way to get experience in listening about the real estate market. However, I'm living in New Jersey. It's getting way too expensive as the taxes here are hurting me and my family. I'm thinking about relocating to another state like Florida or Tennessee, as I know that they don't have state tax there. But I could see they're so overcrowded and saturated, and we want something that's not like that, like the New York metro area where I'm in now. Do you have any suggestions on other states and cities to consider? Sophia, great question. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. And I think it's important to really analyze and break this question down a little bit because even for my international friends, as well as my domestic friends, there's so many ways to take advantage of tax codes to get the write-offs and what have you, and understanding the state and city that you're moving into or wanting to relocate to. Because we always hear the gloss on the outside why, let's say, Florida is so great or Nashville's so great or, what have you. But we have to understand sales tax. We have to understand property tax. We have to understand income tax. Those are the three biggest things that drive a city and economy and also quality of living, right? So first of all, to kind of digress and make it simple, in the United States, there's 9 states with no state income tax on wages. They are Alaska, Washington State, Nevada, Texas, South Dakota, Florida, Tennessee, Wyoming, and New Hampshire, okay? So those are the 9 states, no state income tax. However, only Alaska and New Hampshire is the only 2 states on the list that, in addition to no income tax, they don't have state sales tax, which is pretty cool. However, Alaska, for folks that don't know about it, obviously very cold up there. So if you love the cold, hey, that's your hot spot. Great. New Hampshire, northeast of the country, again, close to the Canadian border. A lot of people love it up there. A lot of, let's say, low population, low density, which is great. Same thing like Alaska. So if you're looking for something that's density, low population in that aspect, you could take advantage up there if you love the cold and the wilderness and just the outdoors feel, right? But at the same time, if you want warmer climate states, Nevada, Texas, Florida, Tennessee are the most popular destination for both domestic and international relocation because of the fact of weather. It could be the city, it could be the newness, it could be new communities. There's a lot of different factors, but I also want to take into consideration that, let's say, Washington State sales tax is the highest at 9.38%, where Texas and New Hampshire both have the highest property taxes in the nation that come in at 1.68% and 1.93% respectively, right? So we want to have to get an understanding of the states and what look, if you're going to move to a state like Nevada, where Nevada has pretty much low property taxes, but they started raising the sales tax, they started raising other taxes, DMV, business licensing, what have you. They have to generate revenue. So they have to make it up in other ways, right? So, but the top 5 that are good for personal and environmental is going to be Texas, Wyoming, South Dakota, Florida.
Are you kidding, honey?
That between the combination, when you mix it all in, is an income tax. You have your sales tax, and then you have your property tax. When you combine all those 3 in, those are the 5 states that are going to be great, because right now, look, you're talking about states in the Southwest and the South that you have Nevada, you have Texas, you have Florida, and you have Tennessee. So taking those 4 states, for example, obviously Florida, you're going to have the weather, the hurricanes, rain, humidity during the summertime, what have you. Tennessee might get a little bit of that, a little bit cooler, right, in the wintertime. And then when you go to Texas, strangely enough, the last couple of years having, rainstorms, you have flooding issues down there, coastal, okay? And then Nevada, very dry, and for instance, in the summertime here, where it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 37.7 degrees Celsius. It might be too hot for people, but you know what? It's a dry heat. I know that's the joke. But it's a dry heat. It's true. It's a dry heat. You don't really sweat to death when you're used to it, but you really don't want to stay in the sun too long either and go out and tan at a casino and go to the pool and what have you, because you will get sick. But my point is, you have to look at, is weather, climate a concern for you? What is your wants and needs? What's more important to you? But I'm giving you the fact of breakdowns, like for instance, for property tax, like Nevada right now, 8.375% sales tax, and then the property tax is 0.04% per the purchase price. So you have to look and see what's most important for you in that aspect, Sophia. There's a lot of different choices. I mean, South Dakota, Wyoming, a lot of people like to set up their trusts over there, their LLCs, because it's cheaper for that. Also for DMV, you don't have to register and pay a gazillion dollars to register your automotive vehicle over there. And again, it low density, low population. It's what are you looking for that's going to be best suited for you and your family. So that's a great question. I hope for my international friends that helps you out too in understanding that as an international, not so much as Sophia being domestic from New Jersey, but you can take advantage of the tax benefits in those states that I mentioned by setting up a LLC and or a trust for your family in those states that you're in. So Nevada LLC, Florida LLC, Texas LLC. Take advantage of the benefits and the tax discounts that you can get, because I'm sure across the world, there's a lot of countries and cities that have so much tax that you're getting taxed up the wazoo, and you're not having a quality of life because you got to work 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. Well, you're going to have these states over here in the U.S. that actually give you not only affordability and a breath of fresh air, but you can actually get ahead of the game. So on that note, I hope that helps you guys out. So after that, let's take a quick commercial break, because when I come back, I want to tackle 3 more questions because these are juicy. We're going to focus here a little bit more on Cabo, and I'll be right back.
You know how grown-ups are always saying, don't touch that, and money doesn't grow on trees? Well, in Cabo, it kinda does. Cabo has beaches so blue they look like someone colored them with a crayon. And the houses. They're like vacation homes that never want you to leave. When you buy or invest in Cabo, your money goes on vacation too. It swims, it relaxes, and then it comes back with more friends called profits. You can rent it, use it, brag about it, or just sit there saying, yep, I own property in Cabo. And then everyone goes, wow. So if you're a grown-up with big dreams, smart money, and a love for tacos, sunsets, and not wearing socks, Cabo is where your money wants to live. Cabo, it's not just a vacation. It's where your money goes to have fun. Call Cabo G at 888-528-2810 and tell him that Oliver told you to call.
Hey, what do you say? What do you say? Thank you so much for sticking around on the back half of Getting Home Source with you-know-who, Gianno. So again, folks, thank you. Please, I ask of you, get on the website, sign up for the newsletter. I'm going to have some great stuff coming up here in the next couple of weeks. I want everybody to be informed on what's going on, because we just don't cover we just cover world news. We just don't cover domestic news. I like to give news about what's going on over here in the U.S., of course, because a lot of people are interested in what's going on here with our government, with our economics, with our, Fed rate, our interest rates, and what have you. How can I purchase in the United States, but also how can I purchase in Mexico, right? So a lot of good stories, a lot of good information. And I want to give you the facts because this is something that we don't talk about and we gloss over, and it's just all about the shine. And I don't want to give the shine. You got to get that coating first before you get that shine. You have to give the information to boost up why the shine is the shine, right? So, okay. Now, for our fourth question, we're going to Canada with Lily W. in Vancouver. And she writes, I've been listening to your show for about 5 months now, and I've learned a lot about purchasing from you in Cabo from your YouTube channel and your website page. But my question is that, are there properties in Cabo, since I hear everything is so expensive down there, for something around 400,000 USD, United States dollars, that would make a great return, plus do you do property management in Cabo? Thank you. So again, thank you so much for that question. Again, another question that's similar from a lot of others of you that have written in. So I just wanted to take this one because it was kind of right to the point with specific numbers. So with that being said, yes, there are condo opportunities, single family home opportunities that you can get up to 400,000 United States dollars. Because again, folks, when you purchase property down in Cabo, you're paying in US dollars. That's how they take it. You can do peso as well, but US dollar is pretty much the going currency that they use. So again, we have to worry about exchange rates for people when you're converting, let's say, European, the euro into US dollar, or if whatever country that you're in that has the currency, you have to watch the currency rate, right? Because you can also do peso as well, like we talked about. But for 400,000, yes, Lily, you could get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. You can get a 2-bedroom, 2-bath if you want a condo, if you want a home. There's great opportunity to go and make an investment. And my company that I work with, Oceanside Real Estate Group, we have our company, Arch Cabo, that handles the property management. So how property management works down there is they will take care of you. They'll furnish the property if you want. They'll set you up with linens, whatever you need. And then every month, let's say if you did 10,000 in gross revenue for the month of renting out your unit or your property, they're going to take 25% of that. So that's 2,500, right? And then you're left with 7,500. But with that being said, it's very important to understand if you're purchasing property and you want to make it as a income producing short-term rental, you want to make sure that you get set up with the Mexican corporation, because on that aspect, they're only going to charge the country 5%, or in this case, the state, Baja California Sur, 5% tax, right? That's your capital gain. However, you can write that off with your facturas, which is basically receipts. So let's say if you're getting 7,500, property manager gets 2,500, and that 7,500, let's say you write off for expenses, you can write off down to 5,000, and then you're paying 5% of 5,000, $250. I mean, nothing, right? So with that being the case, great investment opportunities down there, but you have to learn how to structure it, because I want to make sure that you're getting the best value. And if you want to property manage it yourself and have friends do it, sure, that's fine too. But if you're not going to be around, you might as well get a property management company. And my company, Arch Cabo, comes in lesser than everybody else, at least by 5%, 8%, right? So you are going to get a good deal, especially working with myself, because I'm going to bring you into the company fold with Arch Cabo. So that's the kind of game plan that you want to focus on with investments in Cabo. Again, we talk about what? LLCs. We talk about having that company that is going to be within that state and within the country to get the tax benefits, just like the last question. That's why you have the method of my madness. It all kind of ties in with both U.S. and with Mexico. So, Lily, I hope that helps you out on that one. Again, any questions, as I tell everybody, please contact me, Gianno at VegasHomeSource.com, or go onto my website and leave me a message as well if you like. Now, Our fifth question is coming from Theo from, I hope I say this correctly, Alteran, which is in the UAE. And he writes in, I love your show as I am very interested in Mexico, specifically Cabo. My question is that where is the best place to buy a non-rental family vacation home? Thank you. So great question. Again, something similar. That's why I'm picking out these questions strategically, because that's kind of like the common theme from a lot of people that have written in. So I want to kind of build it all in with one answer that answers basically this question, but everybody's in turn. So you could get great single family homes for like around $550,000 in a nice area, right? If you want to be in a master plan community on the Pacific side, you want to be in a master plan community on the Sea of Cortez, which is on the east side, which is in between, let's say, San Jose going down to Cabo. There's great opportunity for a non-rental where you don't have people that you buy a property and they're renting next door to you. There are actually communities where people live and have a low rental rate because they have to live there, they work there. So that's a great opportunity, and it gets you away from having a deal. You got that family environment, right? So you can go down there, enjoy yourself, and not have to worry about somebody blasting music and, you know, what have you, doing parties every other day with different groups that kind of move in while you're down there enjoying your vacation home. So it just depends upon what your outdoor activities are, your lifestyle activities, because again, you want to be in the Pacific, you can't really go in the ocean because the currents are very strong. You could possibly drown. If you go on, you like the beach life and you want to be close to the beach and take the family for a beach vacation and hang out at the beach and relax, then the Sea of Cortez, beautiful, calm. A lot of people take advantage of it. And the Sea of Cortez is Medino Beach in Cabo by the Marina, going all the way up to San Jose. So you can have an opportunity to check out the beaches. Because again, folks, you have access when you buy a property down there, or even if you're doing a short-term rental, you have access because the state country gives you access for public beaches. Because even though the resort corridor has restricted areas for their part of the beach, but the front part from the water going halfway up is all public. So anybody can take advantage and basically set up a blanket and a tent and have food and enjoy yourself right in front of a hotel in a resort corridor, because that's public access, that's public view. So just to keep that in mind. So again, great opportunities. It just depends upon where you want to be. You could be in Todos Santos, you could be in the East Cape, you could be in Santiago, you could be wherever you want to be. There are single family homes that are non-rentals, great communities. Again, I could send you a list. Just contact me, Theo, and we'll get you taken care of. So no worries there. Now, my last question comes from Lucia P. from Verona, Italy. And that's right between Milan and Venice, I know, because I have family over there. So that's great that we have somebody from Verona. And Lucia writes in saying, thank you for all your information. I'll take that. I'll take it. My question is that I'm interested in Los Cabos and want to know, is there family life down there? So that great question, right to the point. Is there family life down there? The answer to that is yes. Outside of the resort corridor, 100%. There is so much to do because people, when we take vacations, we always look for the inclusive packages because we're going with our family. We want to be economic with our budgeting. There's certain things that you can do when you're in the resort corridor through the hotels. They'll book you, tours and vacation packages and what have you. But yes, outside of the resort corridor where people stay, there's tons of things to do. You have hiking, you have horseback riding, you have dune buggies, you can ride, four-wheelers in the sand, and you can play golf, and there's pickleball, there's tennis, there's camping. You could drive. Actually, if you want to do a long drive, it's about a 19, 20-hour drive. You can go from Cabo all the way up to Villa Guadalupe, beautiful wine country up there. Yes, Mexico does make beautiful wine. They have vineyards. The food is phenomenal. It's spectacular. And if you haven't been, even for people that have lived down there and they kind of stayed hunkered down in their home and they just kind of have everything, all inclusive, it's a drive. I mean, obviously, you probably want to fly to Tijuana, and in Tijuana, you rent a car, 20 minutes, you go down to Guadalupe. It is absolutely gorgeous. But yes, it's a family-friendly place. There's a lot of people that have children down there. Now, I will say that They really don't have the big universities, so people go to their grade school, they go to their high school, then after that, most kids will go to either the mainland or even go into the U.S. to go get their college or university degree. But they do have a family lifestyle for the kids. They play soccer, they play golf, they're very active. They get around, they could go surfing, fishing, whatever they want to do. There is a family lifestyle, very wholesome, very organic, very, how should I say, like, you're like in nature. And I think that's what the beauty about Cabo is because there's so much beauty, so much nature. It's not that far to go 20 minutes or 30 minutes out of town and experience that Baja, the desert feel that also has lakes and waterfalls and streams when you go further north past the East Cape in that Santiago area. It's beautiful. They even have a water park for the kids going up in Santiago, actually. So you have all that. It's a beautiful lifestyle experience. I really highly suggest that you take the time, go down there. I can tell you places to go and what to do. That's outside the resort corridor, that you don't get kind of jammed up with the packages that people put together for you. Like I said, you could do boating as well, and you can go whale watching and stuff like that. But there's other people that can do that for you at a more economical, affordable pricing. So hopefully that answers your question. I guarantee you, because Italy with the vineyards, you can't be judgmental. You got to go in open-minded. But Guadalupe for Mexico, absolutely dynamite. I promise you, you will love it because, like I said, I'm Italian and I love Mexican wine just as much as I love Italian wine. Mexican wine is top-notch. So give it a shot, Lucia. The next time you come in, let me know and we'll get you squared away. So with that being the case, folks, that's the show. We got all the 6 questions in. I hope that a lot of you kind of did the takeaway on this to get, if these are things that you were thinking about, I hope I've answered your questions thoroughly. If not, as I always say, please, please, please write into the show, email me, text me, however you feel comfortable. I will get your question on the air. And if I don't get your question on the air, I will answer you like I always do to all of my people that write in that have questions, real estate related or just source to the source. I just want to get some information. I'm coming down. What can you recommend? Hey, that's what it's all about, because you have to be well versed in there. You have to have the knowledge. You have to have that back road, side road information. And then this way it makes it more fun. And it makes it more exciting because you're not doing what everybody else is doing. You're going on your own path per se, right? So again, I want to say thank you so much, everybody. Next week's show, folks, we have our Valentine's Day show. So as love is in the air, well, guess what? Vegas Home Source and Getting Home Sourced is on the air. So we have love in the air and Vegas Home Source and Getting Home Sourced on the air. So we're going to have a lot of things that we love that we want to talk about next week. So until that time frame, God bless, take care, be safe out there. And hey, by the way, folks, we got the Winter Olympics. It's beginning right now in the Milan and the surrounding areas. So as they say, let the games begin. And on that note, take care.
Sorry, kids, the game's over.
You have just listened to Getting Home Sourced with your radio host, Gianno Buonaguro. This podcast is a registered trademark and may not be reproduced without the express written consent of VegasHomeSource.com. For additional information about buying, selling, or investing in real estate, call or text Gianno toll-free at 888-528-2810 or visit his website at VegasHomeSource.com. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.